Kent. He's a Republican congressional candidate for Texas. He joins us now from the city of College Station. Thanks so much for being with us. You know, as per the U.S. election system, so much actually just comes down to campaign funding. It seems, some of the Democrats running for Senate really have an advantage on that front in 2020. Does it concern you?
Well, certainly it concerns all Republicans, the fact that the Democrats have outraised and outspent the Democrats have outraised and outspent Republicans. In fact, in the presidential race, presidential candidate Joe Biden has significantly outspent Donald Trump in this race, and it lingers. It flows down to Republican candidates in the Senate and the House, and so it makes it difficult, and it is concerning for Republicans.
As for the Republican candidates themselves, aside from the campaign funding, many of them, or some of them, have really had to kind of contradict themselves on their support for President Trump, going back even to when he was just a candidate, and whether they thought he was actually worthy of the Republican Party nomination. Are you worried that they may have to pay, a price for that, for having to come full circle and, as I said, contradict themselves on their support for a man that didn't represent traditional Republican Party values?
Well, I think if you look back into January and February before the COVID virus hit across the United States, the candidates were they were buddying up to Donald Trump because they felt like that was their best avenue towards reelection, that he was popular enough that they needed to support him because their bases are the same. Now we move forward to October, and the coronavirus has been difficult in the U.S. Donald Trump has not received a great response for his handling. And so now you see senators pulling back because every political candidate is going to do what they think is in their best interest to get reelected. And certainly in this situation, if they feel like Donald Trump is weakening, then they're going to run their own campaigns.
Can I ask you personally, how you feel about your Republican Party and representing it, in the upcoming election? Because I remember so specifically a very good Republican analyst once saying when Trump actually won the nomination that the whole party would have to perform an autopsy on itself to figure out what Republicans really stand for. I don't know, they seem to have avoided that kind of self-examination. What do you think of your party today after these last 4 years?
Well, I think if you ask the question, and I'm speaking now as a political scientist and not necessarily a candidate, is that we had a situation in 2016 where the party was shifting and the party changed. We had 16 other candidates who were more mainstream, but yet Donald Trump became the winner. So I think the party has been changing over time. The demographics of the U.S. are changing, and I think that so the Republican Party has changed. Now the key question is, what does a post-Republican Party look like should Donald Trump not win the election? I think does it go back to the kind of more traditional, or do we see this new kind of line of thinking among Republicans?
And let me ask you, what do you think America looks like post this election? I don't know. We're hearing so many things now, and I know the situation varies on the ground from state to state, but some people are even talking about descending into civil war, no matter which way the election goes. How serious are your concerns?
Well, if you look at U.S. politics over its history, there's been lots of times when it's been very contentious. Thinking even in my lifetime during the Vietnam War, through other periods throughout the U.S. So I think that it's a little early to say that. I do think we have some major disagreements. We have a demographic shift coming across the United States, and so I think that there's a lot of change happening, and with change you get periods of instability. But I have great hope for our country, and that we'll find a way. If some people are predicting that the Democrats will win all three, the president, the House, and the Senate, well, that's happened before where the Republicans controlled all three branches of government. And so I think what we do is we sit and we allow Americans to reevaluate, and we'll see what happens.
Todd Kent, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.